Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Overwatch weekly video. Today, I have 4 stories to cover for you all, and we're going to start with stuff relating to BlizzCon. We got the reveal of the items that will be available in the BlizzCon virtual ticket. I'll have a tweet just down to the full BlizzCon, or I'll have a link to a tweet with the full BlizzCon virtual ticket lineup of items. But the Overwatch specific items, we have 2 skins, one for Genji and one for Symmetra. They are both Warcraft related skins. One is Illidan Genji, which you can see in this video that's playing on screen, and the other is Tyrande Symmetra. They're both pretty nice. I don't have any history with Warcraft, so I don't really know anything about Illidan and Tyrande, but they're interesting skins, and a lot of people have said they're very nice, and a lot of people are very excited about them. So I'm just hoping that we soon get to see the Sombra skin soon that they released last year. They said it'd be coming out at a later date, and we still haven't seen it yet, so I'm hoping that it comes out very, very, very soon. So maybe, just maybe, we'll get that during BlizzCon or just after BlizzCon. Who knows? We'll see. The next story is an interview from GameSpot. And this interview is about the Overwatch devs talking about the origins of the Overwatch Switch version, technical challenges, crossplay, a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of different stuff in here, so I'm not going to read you the whole interview. I'll have a link to it in the description if you want to read the whole thing. But I'm going to talk about some of the major key points in this interview. So they were talking with Wes Yanagi, who is the title's principal producer. And the first question they asked him, which was, what was the reaction internally you got Overwatch running on Switch? At what point did you decide you wanted to pursue it beyond an internal test, and what convinced you? And they said that they started discussing bringing Overwatch to Switch a little over a year ago when the Switch version of Diablo 3 was about to launch. And they were talking with the developer Iron Galaxy because they thought they did a great job, and they reached out to them to see what it would take to bring the game to the Switch, and then they worked closely with them and eventually got it to a playable test version. And that was really buggy. They really enjoyed what they saw and decided they were going to make it happen. Then, of course, they asked if the Switch version will have all the same heroes, maps, modes, and updates as the other versions. And he said, of course, he said this is absolutely our goal, which is essentially him saying, like, yes, there may be some issues getting it up at certain times, but yes. Resolution and frame rate, of course, is 900p docked, 720p undocked, with both running at 30 FPS. They asked what some of the technical challenges. They said we spent a lot of time working on getting performance to a solid place where players would feel like they were playing Overwatch. Most people think of graphics when talking about performance, but there are a lot of other systems like audio, physics, hero abilities, and animation that contribute to the overall frame rate. We spent a lot of effort profiling and optimizing all those areas to make Overwatch perform smoothly on the Switch. They asked if they were going to be using the Nintendo Switch's dedicated app for voice chat, and they said all versions of Overwatch are using the same voice chat system that runs through Blizzard servers. If you have a headset with a microphone, you can just plug it into your Switch and start chatting. They confirmed there's no exclusive Nintendo-themed content for the Switch version, because they want to keep the core features the same between all the versions of Overwatch, but they've seen some amazing fan art and movies produced by the community in the last few weeks. I believe the movies one is referring to the Link Switch, or the Link Hero concept thing that came out, which I didn't talk about at all on this channel, but it's really cool. I'll link that in the description as well, underneath this article. They asked about the gyro aiming and how it works. They said, first of all, it's completely optional, but I think if you dedicate a couple of hours to learning it, you might find you prefer it. One way to use gyro aiming is to primarily use the right stick to aim and slightly nudge your aim to get a more accurate shot. Most players will probably use this method. You can also use it in detached Joy-Con mode, where you point the Joy-Con at the screen like a laser pointer. in this mode, some players are able to crank up the sensitivity and get almost a mouse-like aim. I'm excited to see what really good players can achieve with this. That's really interesting. I'm never gonna do that, but maybe if I get the Switch version, I'll give it a try. We'll see. What are your thoughts on cross-play and cross-saves? With the Switch version, it seems like this could be particularly helpful for people to be able to play wherever they want. And they said cross-play is something that would definitely be compelling for players, and as a player, I would love to see it happen. The truth is that implementing cross-play for Overwatch is more difficult than people realize. We are exploring how to bring this to Overwatch, but do not have anything to share at this time. They said with the Switch version, Overwatch is now a mobile game of sorts, but have you thought about adapting the game for smartphones and tablets too? He said briefly, but my brain exploded when thinking about how to map all the controls to the touchscreen. It sounds like a fun idea, but a very challenging one for Overwatch. And the final question that was asked is, now that Overwatch is coming to Switch, people will surely begin to speculate about Overwatch characters in Smash. What do you think about that? Twitchy said, as a player and big fan of the game, I think that would be awesome. It would be an honor if Nintendo chose to bring one of our characters into Smash Bros. And those are all of the questions. Obviously, the game launches on October 15th, so in about 2 weeks. The box version will include a download code for the game, as well as a 3-month subscription for the Nintendo Switch Online service. That's kind of nice. And those who pick up and log into the Switch version by December 31st will receive a golden loot box that contains at least one guaranteed legendary item. So those are all of the normal game news today, but next we have, of course, some esports news to talk about. The first one, the big one, of course, being that this past weekend we had the Overwatch League Grand Finals for the 2019 season, and it was won in a very convincing fashion by the San Francisco Shock. They took down the Vancouver Titans 4-0 to take the Grand Finals. Like I said, very one-sided affair. There was one map where Vancouver looked like they could maybe win. All the other maps, it was nowhere close. Choi Hyobin got your Grand Finals MVP award, which I thought he played very well. He wasn't my personal pick. My personal pick would have been Moth. But I thought Choi Hyobin was also very deserving of it. He did a lot of good work to set up Rascal and Architect and Sinatra and Striker to actually be able to perform at their best. I thought Moth did a very good job as well. He had a lot of very good sound barriers and a lot of very good amplification matrices, but it's very hard to pick one of these incredible players on this team as Grand Finals MVP, but ultimately Choi Hyobin was your Grand Finals MVP. So yeah, some stuff you can check out in the description about it if you want to look at it there. It was pretty nice though. It was a pretty cool thing to see. It was actually impressive to me to see the Shock go all the way and win the whole thing the way that they did. And I'm excited to see where we get to for the next couple of seasons. See how things go when players are playing in different cities around the world every week, and it'll be interesting. I will say that also Overwatch League related, this week is when the free agency started, so when teams are able to decide whether they want to re-sign contracts or not. So that is going on this week, so you might see some players that say they are no longer with the team. You will see some head coaches and whatnot. I'm not going to talk about all those. I'll talk about those more in Overwatch Week, or in Overwatch League fan thoughts and analysis videos and whatnot going forward into the future. But for now, I just want to focus on this. And there's so much movement that's going to happen that I don't want to talk a lot about it. But that's that for the Grand Finals. The final story is something I have never talked about in the past. It's a very unique and different story entirely. But the Overwatch subreddit this weekend is hosting a casual 2-day tournament called Community Clash, and it is for bronze, silver, gold, and platinum ranked players who want to try their hands at tournament play. I will have a link in the description to be able to just look at it if you're interested and you want to take a look at it and see everything about it. Definitely take a look down there. I think it'll be a super cool way to get tournament experience if you are curious about it. So like I said, that is where I would go if I were you and you are curious about what's going on with Overwatch competitive play and you want to get a taste of it. The description, you can follow the link, take a look at it, do what you want to do with it. I think it would be a cool way just to look at it, to look at it, and kind of get used to something that you maybe have never done before, and it would be cool to look at it. But that is everything that I have for you today. If you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing. It does help out a lot with the channel. But I am going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. All right. Bye-bye.